So we've just recently received the Chucky Season 2 teaser trailer, and it looks really good. I'd say awesome and almost a step up from Season 1. Let's talk about it. Now let's start with Jake, Devin, and Lexi. Now the start of their story seems to take place in normal Hackensack. Jake and Devin share a last goodbye before Jake is taken away. Now I'm not sure by who, the police, Miss Fairchild, as seen in the Season 1 finale, to go to a foster home, etc. But this is Jake with his Season 1 haircut, so this must be during early Season 2. We then jump to Lexi, who I'll assume was just doing drugs, calling back to the hard year they've all had. This could be referring to the hard year of fighting Chucky, or the hard year after, or both, and they've taken place during the same year, which is a possibility. We then flash forward in time to Jake in a new home, receiving a call from Chucky to make sure he's home, which scares Jake as he gets a worrying message on his phone, which happens to Devin shortly after, even after he tries to call Jake, asking where he's been, and that he is the only person he can talk to about what really happened, which likely may mean that Jake hasn't been picking up his phone. And then shortly after that, Lexi seems to get a similar message, to which we see Lexi, her sister, Caroline, and possibly an officer, since it doesn't look like her mom at all. Lexi and her sister seem pretty dressed up, possibly hanging out, playing dress up together, or maybe for her mother, who is the mayor, or was, possibly for a mayor event, ball, or some event or whatever, maybe, I don't know. Lexi seems to see something off to the side, possibly a package her and the others got, since we see a scene of Jake quickly approaching his door with a knife, which is possible that they get a package or something from Chucky or maybe Tiffany, although I can't attest to the officer standing in Lexi's room and why she is there, although this could be or could get Lexi in trouble if they don't believe it's from Chucky, like the package or something that they see on their phones, possibly, unless of course it's her mother, the mayor, and everything getting escorted by the police or officers, possibly, or being on high watch so they don't get killed by the possible killer, and Lexi's mom is even more paranoid now. There's also a scene or shot of a Chucky doll, or maybe a Chucky doll, or possibly a Chucky doll, rising from a possibly a bathtub or in a kitchen, and I'm not positive if this is the same scene as Jake getting the call, or maybe even Lexi or Devin, but it could be. Next, we get to see where the season could be taking place for Jake, Devin, and Lexi, when we see Devin on a bus with likely Jake and Lexi, saying no matter what, he's going to come for us again, referring to no matter where they're shipped off to or go, Chucky will come. Now in the trailer, Jake, Devin, and Lexi are seen in a boarding school or church school, so I can only assume this is where this is them being shipped off to the church or boarding school. Then Jake, Devin, and Lexi arrive at the school and enter to walk down the aisle of the church. Since they seem to have on the same outfits from the bus, or at least Devin does, this is likely their first day or when they first arrive. And to talk further about these outfits, they also are seen in the downstairs of a house being interviewed by an already really unlikable reporter or newscaster about what happened to Chucky, which since they seem to be in a downstairs of a house, I'll assume this takes place before they're shipped off, since this doesn't look like the boarding school or the downstairs of the church or boarding school they're sent off to, unless it is. I do wonder what gets them in this interview. Maybe they spoke out about Chucky, or they're linked to the murders somehow, or they're just flat out asked for an interview. Later, we find out where Jake, Devin, and Lexi will be for the season, which is in a church or boarding school, and the lead pastor or leader or priest is Devin Sawa's new character, who lets them know why they are there and that he knows their history and that it's just a doll, likely referring to how they've spoken out about the incident with Chucky and the good guy dolls and all. We do also see them sporting their pretty cool looking uniforms. We do discover one of the dolls has been shipped off to the boarding school or the church school, as we see someone open one up on a desk. Not sure if maybe one of the good guy dolls from the truck Andy was in, or the van that Andy was in, was shipped here, or maybe if Devin Sawa's character ordered it or paid for it to show Jake, Devin, and Lexi to not be afraid, or to get them over their fears of the good guy doll or Chucky, which is likely. And we do see a nun pray, which I'm not sure if this is the one that opens up the doll or the box or unwraps it, or if she maybe sees a body, or maybe Chucky in action or alive, or just Chucky in general, or Chucky. But if this is the doll, or but if this is the woman or the nun opening the doll, maybe she senses an evil, maybe? I don't know. Chucky is seen in a scene killing a pastor inside of a box, most likely during confession, which I'm sure Chucky will make a joke about how he has something to confess something, and he'll then kill this guy with his cross necklace, most likely about how the fact that he's killed people and all of that, and the priest will likely, or the confession person will likely assume that it's a kid, and he'll probably get really creeped out, scared about it, to which Chucky will obviously, strangle him to death, the Lakeshore Strangler. We get a shot of Jake, Devin, and Lexi on their first day again, sitting as Devin saw was preaching towards nuns, other pastors or priests, and other students or kids, until we see Devin holding and looking at a knife after likely a hard day, depending on or seeing how he looks. Lexi is seen in what I think is a bathroom, stating she hates that doll, obviously referring to the good guy dolls and Chucky, but I do feel she's talking to the new character Nadine, who is seen with her in other shots, but it likely means that they know of a good guy doll or Chucky doll or Chucky being in the building, so this is probably after that one good guy doll or Chucky is unboxed in the boarding school or church school, and Lexi, Jake, and Devin do see it. The priest is seen holding a good guy doll saying let go, likely talking to Jake, Devin, or Lexi about letting go of Chucky, and this could be the doll that was unboxed by the nun, until we get a shot of the new season character Nadine and Lexi, as Nadine says, "Dear sweet God, Mother of Hail Mary Jesus," which was a really funny line during the trailer, likely looking at a dead body, aka a Chucky victim or death, or an actual Chucky doll alive, looking at them and speaking and all of this creepy shit, since they both look scared at something, as we also see Nadine covering her eyes. Maybe Lexi kills one of the dolls, or the doll they maybe saw in that scene, or again, they find a death or see Chucky. We do hear screams as Jake quickly wakes up, and all of the kids run out of their rooms and downstairs as the priest leaves his room to quickly see what's going on. Now, if that scream was in the scene, and even if not, someone likely died, or someone is being killed, or maybe someone even saw Chucky, which is another death we can mark down if there is a death, although it did look like Jake woke up from the floors, so I do wonder why he was on the floor, either passed out or knocked out. Lexi screams likely at a death or a dead body, or like I said, a death, or at Chucky in fear, which could have been the scream or the reason everyone is running down the stairs and just running in general, and the priest left the room, or both. Devin stabs down at a Chucky doll, which looks like the same knife he had from earlier, which I'm not sure if this is a fight with Chucky or a good guy doll, or him just stabbing one of the dolls, but a stab will likely turn it alive, like the Chucky doll alive, real quick, since obviously the doll can feel pain and all of that, and this seems to be at night too, which maybe a huge thing happens, or a huge thing happens at night, or a huge situation, or one happens at night where this huge situation happens where everyone starts running. Jake is seen in a scene where he picks up one of the good guy dolls or Chucky dolls, and he seems to have a tiny pocket knife in his hand to likely stab it and get to it before it kills anyone. The scene from earlier of the priest with a doll, the nun opening up the doll, like, the Chucky good guy doll box, and this could all be from the same scene, and the priest talking to Jake until he takes it and stabs it or messes it up, all could be in the same scene. Nadine is seen screaming in bed, which could be the same thing Lexi is screaming at. The ending of Jake, Devin, and Lexi's segment ends with Chucky scaring a nun back in her chair after he scares her, giving her a heart attack, which is a clear Easter egg and an awesome Easter egg and callback at that to Child's Play 3 with Colonel Cochran's death. But instead of Chucky's like, you gotta be fucking kidding me, as he said in that one scene in Child's Play 3, he takes it as a compliment and ends it off with, "Hi, I'm Chucky, wanna pray?" Which is just an awesome way to end off the part of the video, or this part of the video. So as we move on to Tiffany and Nika's scenes in the trailer, their scenes are less prevalent in the story and the trailer, but have some awesome moments. The scene starts with Tiffany opening the doors of her mansion, since her house in season 1 was blown up, in a very flashy outfit, which she seems to have many of those, and she enters the room with a cart and a tray to give to Nika some food and drinks as she's in her unfortunate and very scary state from Chucky season 1 episode 8, in Affair to Dismember. And she's also dressed up, although not by choice, and as I said in other videos, Tiffany will likely play dress up with Nika, and this seems to be the case. Tiffany asks Nika, "Are you as happy as you made me?" To which Nika seems miserable, which is completely understandable, to which Nika says to someone that Tiffany needs to get what's coming to her. Now, it's currently unknown who she is talking to. There's options like Glen, since Glenda's a little cruel, maybe someone who is trying to save her like Kyle or Andy or someone else. Not sure who until we cut to Tiffany cutting the throat of someone in her house. Not sure who this is. Maybe someone looking for Nika, like maybe someone from the asylum, or just someone stopping by the very wrong house or mansion. And we get another shot of one of Tiffany's cool outfits, and I do have to say, I love Tiffany's look in season 2 way more than season 1. Now the scene we're about to talk about is awesome as a pink car pulls up to Tiffany's mansion with the license plate saying they, them, and Tiffany opening her door in arms as she says, Glen and Glenda, come to mama. Which to talk about this, Glen and Glenda seem to have taken inspiration from their mother, Tiffany's cars in flashy outfits. Also, I've been having people tell me Glen is the one with the shorter hair and Glenda has long hair, but I think taking a look at past movies like Seed of Chucky, Glenda wore more flashy clothing while Glen wore more casual clothes, which can be seen in the scene with Glenda having more flashy clothes while Glen has a more casual outfit on, and Glenda seems to have on some cool flashy earrings too. Nika is seen going away from Tiffany's mansion. Now, I've seen theories on how Nika is moving away, and since she has no arms or legs, it'd probably be really hard to move a wheelchair. So some have said motorized wheelchair, she has prosthetics on, or she grew her limbs back, or someone is saving her, which seems like a thing Glen would try and do, or someone else is trying to save her. So I just wanted to say all of that, and they're all theories as of now, although when I first saw the scene, it looked like Nika was floating or hovering away, and she's also in the same outfit that Tiffany dressed her up in the first shot or the first scene. The scene likely after is of Glenda running outside of and away from Tiffany's mansion, which she could be chasing Nika, and Tiffany sent Glenda after Nika, which is possible. I thought it was Kyle at first, but it's Glenda, or it could be Glenda going for a nightly run. To wrap up the video, I'll go through the two smaller or less focused on scenes in the trailer. The first is Andy versus the bride doll versus the Chucky good guy dolls. We see all of the good guy dolls stabbing out of their boxes while saying, when do we get to start stabbing, as we see Andy swerving the truck or van back and forth, likely to throw the Tiffany doll off balance and to shake off the loads of Chucky dolls on the top of the van who have all climbed out the back, or likely climbed out the back because I have no clue how they would have gone up there in the first place. Now, we don't see the bride doll in action or at all in any scenes in the trailer, but I can assume Andy will do something to get rid of her for a bit in the truck, and maybe a gunshot will go off since the bride doll, Tiffany, didn't have a gun in the season 1 finale, episode 8. Andy does say this is for Kyle, which obviously Andy doesn't know Kyle is alive, so he is doing this for her, but she's alive, which Kyle isn't shown in the trailer, although she was seen in episode 8 near the cemetery with the kids, so I'm not sure how they never saw her and saved her and helped her out. And it's all likely to keep Kyle's survival a mystery or unknown as of right now. So Andy saying this could be before he crashes the truck or van, or he destroys it somehow. Either way, he'll likely try to destroy the dolls. Something may go wrong, but he'll get away, or something in general. Just my theory, and possibly have a fight with the bride doll and many Chuckies too, obviously. The last set of scenes is of Caroline hearing a doorbell and opening a door to what looks like a Chucky or good guy doll, and visibly seeming scared, until she is seen waking up in bed and holding a knife towards the classic bride doll from Bride of Chucky. Now, this could be a new bride doll, like how there's multiple good guy or Chucky dolls, or this is the bride doll, and after it escapes from Andy, maybe the doll will try and put its soul into Caroline's body or something along those lines. Some people have said theories like multiple Tiffany bride dolls, which would be cool, although possibly too much and too many dolls would become confusing. So I'd say the teaser trailer for Chucky Season 2 was successful. It has me extremely excited for Season 2 with the expanding stories of our group from Season 1, with tons of new locations, tons of new stories and characters, with the awesome and cool introduction of Glen and Glenda, newcomer Nadine, and Devin Sawa's priest, Andy fighting the dolls, Jake, Devin, and Lexi's new story inside of the boarding school. Can't wait to see Chucky and all of the chaos in that cool location. Tiffany and Nika's story, and Chucky seems to have received some kind of redesign or new look for Season 2, which looks scary and cool and much better than Season 1 in my opinion. The look is awesome. So what are your thoughts? That was all I want to talk about in the video. As per usual, the trailer will be linked down below. Thanks for watching, and peace out, my amigos, and peace. Peace out.